Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. And this time, from the pages of Strange Tales, number 186. We're going to take a look at Doctor Strange. This is 186 from 1976, Marvel Comics, reprinting this two parts of the storyline from Strange Tales numbers 136 and 137. So Lee Ditko. Of course, Steve Ditko, who created the character, did the plot and the art, and Stan Lee did the script, and of course was the editor. And of course, and this was a newly drawn cover. And of course, this is reprinted from when Strange Tales was split in two, so they had featured two characters. And this is takes two of those and combines them for one issue, and leaving out the act break, if you could call it that, between those two sections. Okay, now this cover is a nice cover, really attention getting, and no credits, of course, for the cover, so I don't know for sure who did it, but I suspect it might have been Maurice Severin doing the pencils. I can be completely wrong. I don't know. It might be. And the inks remind me of Jim Valentino, but I don't know if he was working in comics yet at this time. But it just really... the inking style just really reminds me of Jim Valentino. It said, "Can even the Sorcerer Supreme survive the fury of the Ancient One?" And this is of course originally from the mid 60s. This is probably, in my opinion, Ditko's best artistic time when he was doing, because I really like his stuff from Charlton with Captain Atom, then of course Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, and I did it seems like almost every time I do anything with Doctor Strange, it's with Ditko, but those are the best stories that I like, that I've got. And I've said before, I think Doctor Strange should have been more in the horror category than the superhero category. As some of his stories are more of a horrific nature. I forgot where I was going. Oh yeah, and Ditko, of course, then went back to Charlton for with the new Blue Beetle, Ted Kord version of Blue Beetle. I like that version of Blue Beetle the best. And of course, stuff at DC, creating the Hawk and Dove for the Teen Titans, and what else? Lots of other stuff over there, and then of course all through his horror stuff for Charlton, all through the 70s. And I really think his draftsmanship went down. It might have been because he was just phoning it in. So even though it has some good stuff, but by and large, that's all except for his own original material was like in the 70s, just kind of seemed phoned in for the most part, not entirely. And of course, he's bopped back and forth for years. And he was a good staple workhorse, and he had a good a strong fan following. Okay, I'm going to get into this. I've babbled too long. Okay, splash page. What lurks beneath the mask? And when you read this, you can really tell that it came from two different issues. Even though they left out the break in there. What lurks beneath the mask? Okay, and follow the world's strangest hero as he continues to search for the deadly secret locked within the word eternity. Yeah, it's a continuing storyline. He's on a search. He's in hiding from Dormammu and Baron Mordo. And but here in the splash page, that's not Doctor Strange, but that's his clothes. Well, we'll find out why. And it starts right off with he had recently escaped from Dormammu with the assistance of Clea, and now Clea is in trouble. Dormammu has discovered her traitorous nature, and he's railing against at Mordo, Baron Mordo, as they're working together, trying to find Doctor Strange, and here he is communicating with. Let me do this different, because here you can see Baron Mordo, and he's communicating with his followers all around the world on the lookout for Doctor Strange. With this orb here, he can, whenever Doctor Strange casts a spell, he'll be able to spot him and go to his location. But he's not. Here he is in disguise. He's in his. You can barely see it because of the coloring in there. Levitating, because he's got his cloak of levitation underneath his suit of clothes. He stops to see somebody and try to get some information, but she can't help. And they said, "We'll tell you about the story behind that later." Then he goes to see some other. This is some other whack job mystic. He's a little bit on the nutty side, trying to get some information from eternity. And he says, "Oh, no one remembers it but me," because it's something about eternity. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what that eternity thing is. And he gets a scroll to cast him some kind of spell. Then he's back in his mystic togs at a secluded location, casts the spell on the scroll, and then opens a portal. That's when Mordo spots him and goes to his location, but gets there just after Strange goes through the portal. Then Dormammu is railing against him again. So here he is, Strange is, in this other dimensional space where that portal took him. There's some great work on the drapery here for his cloak. And there's all these columns of masks and faces and stuff. And there's this one person who is imprisoned. And goes, help me. So, being the good soul that he is, he takes the eye covering off, and blam! Whoever it is zams his eyes. And in the process, they transpose their positions. So that's why this weirdo is in Doctor Strange's clothing. And Doctor Strange is now imprisoned as he had been. And then he covers him with the mask. This is how he... with this mask, he draws all the life energy and the power and everything from his victims. He had been imprisoned here, but unbeknownst to this weirdo, he's still Doctor Strange. Why he can't speak or do any magical gestures, he is still in mental control of the cloak of levitation, which really wraps this guy up and freeze Doctor Strange's face, removing the mask, makes it look in the eyes again, and zam, they're back. They've changed again. And here here they are fighting. He's drawing on all of his previous victims to attack Doctor Strange, but Doctor Strange defeats him and is returned. Imprisoning him. Then he returns back to the regular Earth plane. He goes to see. He has to confront the Ancient One for the information he needs. But the Ancient One is in bed, comatose. But he has to do something, has to delve into the Ancient One's mind. But this is something that the Ancient One has been protecting. I hear this. I wanted to point out, because Ditko does some really nice stuff here. And this face here, on this page, that face of Doctor Strange, and then down here on the bottom, I mean, they're just outstanding work on those faces. And I think he does a very good job of having a few pages of very little physical action, just stuff going on within the characters' minds and stuff, to keep it interesting. So he said, even though it may harm the Ancient One, I have to do this. He gets in, so he sets up. He's got the Eye of Agamotto beaming energy into the body of the Ancient One to mitigate any harm to him. But meanwhile, he has to try to delve and penetrate into the Ancient One's mind through his mental shields, which is actually being reinforced by the own energy that Strange himself is beaming into the Ancient One's body. So then, this is a battle between the wills and the mind of the Ancient One is fighting back, because he thinks he's being assaulted from out, not necessarily believing that it's actually Doctor Strange. So they fight back, and then again, and all this mystical stuff. This is where Ditko's work, and especially in his horror stuff, really worked very well, because he did all this really weird artistic stuff that is kind of psychedelic at the time. And this is where it was a good job in the storytelling. And see, every other page are ads. But then he finally convinces the Ancient One that he is truly his pupil, Doctor Strange. And so he convinces him that he's got to find out this information. I don't know what the reason is for regarding eternity. Finally, the Ancient One relents and informs him. Then the caretaker returns to the Ancient One's chamber and finds Doctor Strange collapsed on the floor. Oh, is he dead? Is he dead? No, I wanted to show here, because several weeks ago I did one on an episode on the Hostess comic story ads, and there's another real nice one there. Then we go to Doctor Strange isn't dead, but he is just recovering, and then he goes off to cast the spell that the Ancient One gave him. Again, great on the drapery here. To take him to wherever he needs to go to learn about eternity. And in the process, he casts the spell, and then the Eye of Agamotto grows and opens up to become a portal. Meanwhile, Baron Mordo has detected him again and comes just after he goes through that portal. Doggone it, and it really ticks him off. So then we said, next issue, Doctor Strange finds eternity. Now, that's eternity, I presume, is actually a person or an individual, a being of some kind. And that is the end. So it was a very pleasant read, even though I don't know what the eternity is that he's after, what that information is. I don't know. But it was a very interesting read, very well told. I think it was an interesting plot because of, and I kind of wish I had the stuff before and after, because Ditko did such a nice job. And then it finishes up with another comic ad, but it is for G.I. Joe. This is, I think, John Romita did the artwork on this. And I think I may have shown this in my episode on the comic ads. So that is all I've got for you this time with Doctor Strange number 186. Some classic Lee Ditko goodness from the 60s, reprinted in the 70s. So please like, share, and subscribe. Are you a Doctor Strange fan? Are you not thrilled with Strange at all? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Whatever comments you have regarding Doctor Strange or this issue of Doctor Strange, or any questions regarding anything that you might have for me that I may or may not be able to answer. Let me know in those comments below. And remember, comics are art.